Right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, gentle folk. Welcome back to some D&D. In the sessions prior, or picking up from where we left off, the Guardians have been in the capital, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Lord Lazarus Barrenhill had basically mind controlled some of the charmed and mind controlled some of the council. He had blackmailed others, and others had joined him on his evil quest to serve the necromancy queen and priest of Tiamat, Queen Yara. You guys took the initiative, headed to his house, and there went into the Shadowfell and defeated him. In the last session, you went through his large house in the Shadowfell and found several items and lots of coin. Returning to the capital, you went back to Councilman Ivan's house, and whilst there, you found several of the other council members too. Councilman Ambyr, Councilman Whitash, Councilman Grandwind, and Councilwoman Dewforge all gathered. All the council there, other than Councilman Ambyr, have awoken from their charm, because you killed Lazarus, and seemingly don't remember a single thing about the last couple of weeks, past few weeks. The council thanked you very much and invited you to a council meeting at sundown, so about sort of 8 o'clock. After this, you went to identify the magical items you found and can share them out between yourselves. And you all had a little bit of downtime, so you set Cathaniel to reading the information that you found from Lazarus, and we'll get back to that in a little bit. Galahad went back to the Cathedral of Pelor, wherein he learned that a large horde of demons that are left over from the tower have banded together and are roaming the lands together. A potential problem, and strange for demons, is they're usually a very competitive species, but now are banding together to rain havoc on the capital as their forces are potentially dwindling after the Guardians took down the tower. Galahad then met Damien Zelaw, I think it's Zelaw, I can't remember how I said it, a young but confident tiefling who has fought for the cathedral and its priests for years, completing odd jobs and contracts for them, but he wants to become a true paladin of Pelor and is excited about the prospect of learning more from Galahad and becoming a sun guard. You were told he had a bit of a rough past, and he clearly looks a little rough around the edges, but with some training and practice, you think he could become a decent paladin. Griffin, all the while, travelled to the Temple of Tyr, and inside prayed to him about the events to come and asked for guidance. He said you felt like you were facing stormy seas and nothing but a small rowing boat, but Tyr told you that even though this was true and you were, however, facing it with the champion of Apollo, sun god of Pelor, and a minotaur who wields the flames like the Dawn Father himself. Though you are in a small boat, you are with experienced sailors, and so long as you stick together, work together, and hold fast against the raging waves, you will see calm seas on the other side. Dokrumir decided to go visit his old friend Hammer, give him a little bit of money, and also visit the Temple of Apollo, just sort of meandering about, taking a few moments to himself to just calm down from everything. And Balzanor went to the most important temple of all, a bar, to get drunk.
This is the way.
This is the way. After all of this, you spoke to Cathaniel, who has been reading the info you found in Lazarus' house, and you learned that Lazarus has an alliance with those who call themselves the Dowie. He was going to release the Wraith bottles in the ball, and also that Queen Yara has split her forces and is currently also waging war against the Raven Queen in the Shadowfell, and is besieging her home, the Fortress of Memories, on behalf of Tiamat for reasons unknown. We also learned some of Yara's untold story, the fact she was born with a supernatural gift of innate necromantic control and power. She never wanted to become a necromancer, but her mother, a wizard scorned by those in the Wizard's College, tried to teach her to control her necromantic powers. But one day, she pushed Yara too far. And pushing her too far, Yara lashed out and killed her mother, and eventually was found by a wizard who worked at the college and one of Galahad's old friend, Arcandius. We pick up the session with you guys going back to Lazarus's abode to deal with the wraiths in the bottles beneath his house after realizing, yeah, that's a problem we need to fix. And also remembering...
Real quick question.
Oh, yeah.
So when you say he was working with the Dowie,
Yes.
Are they like? Are they? Was he bringing them into the city, or was it just relations between?
As far as he was able to tell, they have bolstered the forces of the cult of the Black Dragon. No, the cult of the Black Prophet. So,
Who is the Black Dragon?
who is the Black Dragon? So, you're not sure if they're here. You're not sure if they're somewhere else. That Glyndon and Oramus and Mazzy and whoever is going to be dealing with.
Would know from our big meeting that the Black Prophet is based out in the east.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You would know that he is based out there somewhere, and that's a thing. They could be here. You've met some necromancers here, who were clearly cultists of some kind, and were probably cultists of the Black Prophet, aiding in Yara's events and things like that. So maybe a couple of them were the Dowie, but. Yeah, that's about as far as you've got. So yes, we pick back up with you guys. All, you all sort of met up in the Cathedral of Pelor after a little while. Balzanor, make me another con save. Just as you've been drinking, a lot of people have been sort of coming up to you, and a lot of the soldiers coming up to you on their off time, buying you drinks and all sorts. 15. Yeah, I'll say that's a decent amount.
To affect me.
That's a decent amount. Maybe you're a little bit tipsy, maybe just like a little bit wavy here and there. But by the time that you walk back to the Cathedral of Pelor, you would have sort of walked it off. And sadly, to the sadness of many of the patrons of the tavern, you do eventually realise that you have to go. You should probably head off and head back to the cathedral and see where everyone else is. You all head back to the cathedral, meet up. Nathaniel tells you all the stuff, and together you can head over to Lazarus's house, unless there is anything else you would like to do in the cathedral after meeting up briefly. You do have some items that you could spend some time attuning to during this time. Oh, yay, food. Thank you. But, I mean, you can do that at any point. So, what would you like to do?
We'll break this shit first, yeah, because if we're going to pick up the daggers, and we got more stuff to sort out between us. So,
fair enough. So, you head off to Lazarus's abode, and when you arrive there, it is now about sort of 7 o'clock. So, getting pretty late, like fairly close to the time that you should be meeting up with the council. But you're sure you can be a little bit late, and they've probably got things to discuss between themselves before you guys arrive anyway. So when you arrive at this place, you realise that there is now lots of guards around this place. About sort of 6 or 7 outside the front gates. About another sort of six or 7 maybe just inside the front gates, looking around the sort of like the front garden and the little church that was inside his abode, and many more inside. As you guys begin to approach, one of the guards, well, rather 2 of the guards that are right by the gate, they have these long spears, like put them over, like, who are you? State your business. But then another guard sort of stops them. Oh, you idiots. They're the people that we're meant to allow in. Gentlemen, I apologize. My name is Captain Niliel. I've been told to get my men to look through this place. I have about 12 men inside and many men outside. We haven't yet checked the church. But yeah, you guys can all do as you will. Have a look around. Whatever you're here for, my men are here to aid you if you need it. Otherwise, yeah, do what you will. We're just securing the area down, really. Was there any other threats around this area that you knew of, or was this anything else we should be aware of?
I mean, the Black Talons. Not that you were ever not wary of them, but they're more of a problem now than perhaps before.
Well, I confess I've only heard stories that they're back. I'm I wasn't quite sure I believed them. You must understand, in the city, the Black Talons are, well, they're a fairy tale. They're what you tell people to not go walking on their own at night, sort of thing. We don't really believe that they were real.
Well, Captain Twatface, I'm here to tell you that they're not a myth.
Yes, charming. It's Niliel, but sure. Go right ahead. Go inside. Do whatever. I must sort something else out. And clearly just wants to get away from this conversation now. And he just walks on, starts randomly talking to some of his men, and you can just like overhear him just as he's walking out. Dear Christ, paladins. Walks on ahead. But yeah, you guys can head.
Felled by a single word.
And you guys can head into the house and have another look around. So you've got all the daggers that were in the piano, well, in the organ, and you also have the wine bottles that were under the cellar. Which one would you like to go to first?
I think we've got to dispose of these bottles, and then I thought we'd agreed to just sort of like all fireball them. But if there's lots of people in the house now, then it's probably a bit of a danger if we mess up for whatever reason.
Well, I can do go down and do forbiddance down.
I was going to say, yes, your forbiddance is now worn off. It's been over 8 hours since...
Yeah, well, I can go down and do forbiddance again.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that's a cleaner way to do it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's going to be one thing to break them open, and then we're going to have dozens and dozens of these things to deal with. So something like an area of effect thing like that. That's just going to... We want to get them all in one place at the same time. So I feel like forbiddance is the way to go.
Yes.
I'll ritual cast forbiddance again then.
Okie dokie, you ritual cast forbiddance, spending 10 minutes. The guards are a little confused, sort of looking at you ritual casting things, and they almost seem like they should be concerned, but Captain Niliel just sort of eases their worries, like they're pros, just leave them do whatever the fuck they want to do. And after 10 minutes, yes, you have cast forbiddance.
What's everyone else got that's AoE?
Fireball. Amongst other things, I think fireball might be my main AoE.
I mean,
one. Do you have anything, Luke?
not as such. I have things like Crusader's Mantle, which could help you guys deal damage, but not do damage myself.
What does Crusader's
Or
Mantle
Spirit
do?
Guardians. Just look in the chat.
Surprised you still have spell slots left.
I don't have a spell slot for that.
Yeah, did we get a long rest or?
Nope, you have not had a long rest yet.
Okay, in that case, I do not have a spell slot left. So no, can't help you, here, mate.
I can cast Warding Bond. I don't know if that's of any use. Not at all, really.
Okay. I mean, I've got
Oh, that's pretty cool. Resistance to all damage. Oh, but you take damage as well. Okay.
Each time you take damage, you take the same amount of damage. I've got I've got some Spirit Guardians. So I mean, we could do this. Either, I mean, maybe methodically. Then is the way to go. What has everyone got for range?
Firebolt cantrip.
I've got 1 level 3 spell slot and 2 level 4 spell slots left.
Okay.
Okay, so you've got 3 fireballs.
Basically, yeah. Or I can do Ice Storm or Cloud Kill as area.
What's the damage on Cloud Kill?
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, 24 yeah, first one starts its turn there, must be Constitution. 5d8, okay. So, Fireball's probably better.
So are you thinking you cast Forbiddance and then they're going to try and push out, so we lob some shit in there and then just like hold the door, or?
Well, basically, either we like send
Fuck's
like
sake.
either like you throw a fireball in and open them all at once, in which case they all take Forbiddance damage, and then Balzanor chucks his 2 more fireballs in, which will probably do a decent chunk of damage. And then if I put up a Spirit Guardians in the doorway and stand in the doorway, if there's any left after that, when they come forwards, they're all going to take damage when they hit the Spirit Guardians. And then if Galahad buffs my AC, either with you've still got Shield of Faith, haven't you?
I do.
If you buff my AC with Shield of Faith, I can. What's Shield of Faith +2?
Yeah, +2.
Okay. So I can. That would.
Do you really think they're going to survive all of this? I mean, I don't have an issue with planning further ahead.
I don't really, basically. But what I'm thinking is, yeah, by the time
Worst case.
Forbiddance, 2 fireballs from Balzanor, 1 at 3rd and 1 at 4th level, plus them all entering an area of Spirit Guardians and taking damage from that, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but if I'm standing there, essentially like preparing to take the dodge action to just duck and weave as, what could be 100 wraiths come out. Either
How many
that
was
or
it again, Ben?
it's like a wine cellar full of bottles.
There's a big difference between
it is a
dozens
wine
and
it is a
hundreds.
wine cellar full of bottles. I mean, I can show you sort of like the size of the cellar you're sort of working with
Yeah,
here.
I mean that would help. So
So
we know whether we're dealing with like 20 bottles or 50 bottles.
yeah, so if you imagine this is the basement, right, and then all along the walls. So this is like the size of the basement. Here, ignore the chains and the bones; those are just extra sort of
Is that where he
storage
kept
bits.
Mary?
There's just ignore the chains and stuff. That's just like extra random little bits, like way gone off food is in there, like an old sort of storage cupboard. There's not really much in there, and then all around this wall and this right wall here are shelves, and on each of the shelves it's about sort of like 3 deep wine bottles filled with wraiths.
So there are
Okay, so it's quite a lot.
There are a lot. Yeah, and everyone just make me a quick perception check.
Okay.
Don't feel like anyone.
What do I see, Ben?
Love that zero.
So
map.
everyone's sort of looking around, and everyone's
Worked hard on it.
maybe everyone else is more focused on sort of like, okay, how do we get rid of this stuff? Because also on the middle of the floor here, you can still see the markings of where the portal is, where the portal would take you to the Shadowfell. And everyone's trying to figure this stuff out. And you sort of spend some time looking at these bottles a little bit more individually, and you realize some of them have name tags on them. Some of them don't, but some of them do. And the name tags are names such as the Black Frog, the Lazy Hen, the Lowly Inn. And you begin to realize that many of these bottles have name tags of different inns that are potentially throughout the city. And you quickly sort of realize that these weren't just going to be released in the ball. They were going to be released all throughout the city. So suddenly all throughout the city, all these bottles are going to be uncorked. A wraith would pop out and start killing innocents all throughout the city, turning each of them into undead that would then kill more people and turn them into undead, and kill more people and turn them into undead. And it was going to be a massive, massive problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, crafty individual Lazarus was.
What? No.
Well,
Okay,
no,
before
BS.
we do anything then, do we need to get a list of all these inns and send someone to check them for more bottles?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, we can do. I feel like it's maybe a bit overkill. I think we nip this in the bud, but if we just send the guard.
Well, yeah, like I'm not proposing that we go around and check them all individually, but like, do we get the sense that this is the entire stack, or are there like bits missing, like some have already been shipped out?
No, this is like the entire stack.
Okay.
There are 4 missing, but you recall that there was 4 in the room up in Lazarus' room. So, up in the organ room. So, no, sorry, there was 6 in the organ room, and there are 6 missing here. So, yeah, you get the sense that.
Okay.
I think they were waiting for the siege to start, and then he was going to pop all of them.
Okay.
And
so,
that would have been the end.
I mean, are we doing one Balzanor fireball to open them all up, and then 2 more fireballs to deal damage?
If you're potentially worried about this not working, I feel like it's not going anywhere. Maybe we all just go and because like if this gets out of hand for whatever reason, then we're not in best shape to fight, are we? So.
I mean, I feel like we're going to take care of them quite quickly.
I think it'll be okay, but let's do it. Cast Forbidden, and then
Forbidden's
Balzanor, as you always are. Keep your fireballs on track. This feels like a cheat code to get Matt's kill count up.
I mean,
well, I'll put it this way: if you manage to kill all of these, if we were doing XP, Jesus Christ, shit would be insane if we were leveling up by XP.
So what we're gonna have? We're gonna have 2 level 3 and a level 4 fireball, Matt.
Yep.
Which is 8d6 and 9d, so 17d6 plus 5d10 forbiddance plus 4d8 spirit guardians. I feel like that'll be enough.
Well,
damage.
Let's have a look. See. So, running through this then. So, think of this as a combat where obviously you guys have a surprise round. Well, it's not even a surprise round. Like in this instance, you guys can pick the order at which you will be in your initiative, because it will essentially be I do this and then I do this and then I do this, and then when they come out, we'll essentially roll initiative and see what happens. So, so roll your fireball. Then, so what are you guys all?
Oh, you got to do forbidden first, surely.
I've done that.
Yeah. He's done forbidden, so that's all. That's all well and good.
So 1 level 3.
1 level 3.
Oh no.
However,
that's 4 nat ones.
However, there is the issue of they are all in bottles. They cannot dodge any of this damage. So when the bottles break, they will just emerge in flame, essentially.
Can we just rewind time and do that again?
Well, you got
sadly not.
Back time.
So you got 1 fireball to open them, 1 fireball to hit them, and then the second fireball to hit them.
Well, obviously this would work in initiative. So 1 fireball to open them. So then they're all open.
Nice.
And now they're in the world, so they take just automatically. They all take 21 damage, and then roll forbiddance because they would all then take that. So out of their turn, so 5d10.
What the fuck is that?
19. Okay, so that would be 40 damage total. And now everyone roll initiative.
What I can roll
30 million wraiths up the stairs.
We're gonna do this sort of theatre of the mind esque.
I can do 1 more D4 level 4 fireball.
You can, but this is essentially initiative. So these things have been awoken,
Fine.
and we're gonna see how that sort of goes.
at this point?
Yeah. So like while Balzanor was doing his thing, you got your thing going, and we'll see what initiative order the raids go. Oh, okay.
That second initiative was Damien, just to make sure everyone aware.
Yeah, literally says his name on it.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Is that you then, Doc?
I'm 19.
Oh,
Yeah, but you ahead of me.
I mean, probably you first. I'm happy for you to go before me with the fireball.
where are you stood right now?
I mean,
I'm in fireball range.
like basically right at the bottom of the stairs. Like I'm blocking the stairs, and Balzanor's just like chucking them over my shoulder to just explode the room. Or,
Okay.
Or like if this is like a banister and we can see, then I'm at the top of the stairs. It's like, if that's
No,
like
this is like a wall. So you and Balzanor would essentially be at the top and bottom of the stairs.
So basically,
And
I'm at like, the
sadly-
furthest back choke point.
Yeah, and sadly, they get initiative, rolling a natural 19.
God.
What is with the initiatives today?
So obviously, Doc and Balzanor, they're fucking coming for you. And I'm not going to roll all of this damage. I'm actually going to use the minion rules here to do some of this. So what
You realise I'm
are
only
the,
on 42 HP.
their CR
You are.
6
You've been fortified by drink. You're all right.
plus 1. So they essentially get. So how many of them can physically hit you at once?
Well,
They can move through each other's
me, then,
spaces.
They all take. They all have to make a save against spirit guardians.
They do. So I'm gonna.
And their speed is then slowed when they're in that 15-foot radius.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that half of them failed and the other half of them failed.
Okay.
So roll the spirit guardians.
Spirit guardians. Should have 4th level. So that's another 18.
18. So that's God. And now they all can push in towards you.
What's their speed then?
Their speed is 30 feet.
Their speed is half, so none of them will be able to
Sorry, their speed is 60 feet.
Fuck me.
A raid speed is 60 feet. So they can get to you. How many... If they all moved through each other, that's a lot of attacks. Split between you and Balzanor. So I'm gonna say... I'm obviously not rolling all these attacks. I'm gonna use the minion rules for this. And basically say that...
Balzanor if he's behind Doc on the stairs?
Well, firstly, they are incorporeal, so they can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult
That's a
terrain.
bitch. Galahad, how about we shut this door and forget this mistake?
Yeah, let's leave them.
But they are all greedy, hungry fucks. So let's see. This has I'm not even going to roll this because even if I use the minion rules, this has like a plus 30 to hit, and I'm not rolling 30 different rolls to hit. I'm just gonna use some average damages here. So Doc, can you roll me a con save, please? And you'll essentially just take so you release this fireball, all these things come out, and this room just turns into a shadow, just a massive shadow, pitch black all around, hundreds of dozens of horrifying sort of ghoulish ghostly faces, all like pure black, just staring you down. Suddenly they are outlined in a sort of like whitish essence and begin like burning with this white light as the forbiddance takes them, and there's just this cacophonous scream, and suddenly Captain Neil's like, what are you doing down there? And he just, you can hear swords unsheathing all around you. And these things take a bunch of damage.
It's all in hand,
obviously.
Captain. Don't worry,
Then they
man.
start pushing towards you, and Doc, you just sort of like burst and beam out with this radiant light. Like you say, these like small birds like flit around you, sort of catching many of them. But they are very, very quick, and they start moving sort of incorporeally through one another and attack and at one another. So I'll split it into 5. I'm going to split this into 5 attacks, and I'm going to sort of amplify the damage for it with the minion rules. The first one would be 14 plus 6, so that's a 20.
Have I got Galahad preemptively cast Shield of Faith on me as well, then if I was holding...
I believe you did mention that. So actually, that one misses. That's one attack. Second attack misses. Fourth attack hits. Fifth attack hits. So actually, only two of the things hit you. But this is going to be multiplied damage, and I'm not even going to bother trying to roll all of this. I'm just going to go on to Google. Roll. Fucking hell. What was your con save, by the way?
17.
17.
Unless that includes
Okay,
a Paladin
I believe-
bonus, in which case 21.
That'll do it. So I'm going to say roll.
We're nowhere near you, JJ. We're very far away. We're having a chat with Damien at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, just
Oh,
getting to know him a
I
bit.
believe this was all in hand. Was what was mentioned.
Let's say. Okay, I'm going to say 30. 6 times the damage that a wraith would regularly do.
I didn't count on Matt and I
Sort
both
of.
rolling.
I rolled, I think, 6 nat ones. In
Yeah,
my team.
and I rolled basically all 2s
Yeah,
and 3s.
I'm going to be honest. These things have come out, and already they're looking like wispy. Basically, just wisps reaching towards you. But Doc, you would take for the first set of damage. So I'm just coming up with the damage here now. So that'd be.
I feel like Ben's turned into a supercomputer, just crunching numbers.
I'm trying to figure out how to roll all the damage and roll. So splitting them all into 5 is basically worked out. So Doc, you take 56 points of necrotic damage
For the first attack.
for the first attack.
Oh,
I'm
my
down.
god, I'm dead.
When you get to me, I'm dead. I'm just dead.
Um,
Wait, JJ, are you down? Or?
I mean, if I take that again, I'm dead.
and now rolling it again, you take 50 points of necrotic
Yeah,
damage.
Oh!
What the fuck is this?
It's in hand.
Why did we not take a long rest before this? Was that not possible?
It was entirely possible. You guys are the ones who decided to, like, you guys said last week you wanted to go here, and you mentioned it before. I was just
Yeah,
basically
Galahad, shut the door.
Right, JJ and I are dead. Our characters are not coming back. We're just out.
So
Imagine if
Balzanor, we got
all this
nothing
this
to hit you.
Wow.
Another nothing to hit you. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Luke, you need to
Okay.
cast Spirit Guardians quick.
Two
I don't
Two of
have a
these
slot for Spirit Guardians, my guy.
of these attacks hit you, Balzanor.
Yeah, I'm dead.
So Balzanor, you take
Oh, this is.
you take 64 points of
Okay.
necrotic damage.
Dead.
So you go down,
Can we call the guards in?
and then the next set of ones come in,
What are
and
they
you
going to
take
do?
55 points of necrotic damage. So you fail
You
2
want
death
me to be on
saving
minus
throws.
100?
So you've now failed 2 death saving throws as these things come in and attack you.
Oh,
Are
it's
you
been
guys
fun for me.
genuinely like out the door, or are you actually with us?
I'm in. For now. With Damo.
And then, so you guys are like just
Well,
about.
I thought the aim was you guys were going to come up the stairs, so we wouldn't be right behind you. I don't see the point in that.
Well, we needed to be at the furthest forward point so Balzanor can see to cast Fireball.
Hmm.
No, I get why you're in there, but I don't. There's no point in us because I thought the idea was for you to pull back.
No,
So,
we're not,
basically
we
what
can't pull
happens
back
is-
because Balzanor still needs to be able to see to cast Fireball on his turn.
So basically, what has happened is Damien,
but the
Griffin,
raw
and
plan was
Galahad are all at the top of the stairs, like awaiting, thinking, okay, yeah, we've got this in hand. They're just going to run up the stairs. Balzanor will set up a fireball, it'll be fine. But you just don't expect these wraiths to be that fucking quick. I mean, they rolled a 19 on their initiative +3, so they just like burst out of these bottles and know that you can hear this screaming and retching and ghostly, hallowed wailing. They rush towards the first point of impact, which is obviously Doc, and many rush past, and you just suddenly like can't see them. You just suddenly can't see Doc and Balzanor in this moment, as they are just suddenly surrounded by all these wraiths, and you can hear these screams and wails of them both as they both fall down.
Okay, so
Uh,
Doc's down. Balzanor took a hit while he was down, so he's down 2 death saves. Yeah.
yeah, and then it goes around to
Okay,
you two. What are you guys doing now?
So if I
Well,
use
fire shit. Go on. I think you're first anyway.
can I use
Initiative count.
a channel divinity?
Yeah. It would essentially be you guys' turn because you guys are. I'm just gonna like
Right.
pile Griffin and Galahad and Damien together in this. So
I mean, so
you
can I
guys
use
are.
can I use channel divinity?
Uh-huh.
Turn the tide to make Doc regain some hit points.
Okay, they only have to be able to hear you. So, yeah, Doc, you suddenly as you go down and you fall, and this just like, wraiths are. Beings are basically almost like ghosts, but they're like black ghosts, and they look skeletal. Each of these beings with like very little flesh clinging to them, and they don't have legs. Like it's just like they're wearing these long tattered robes that flap about that would have gone like past their feet. And as all this like tattered things are fluttering about you, and the wails and screams of all these things, suddenly you just feel this warmth within you. You suddenly just and you regain 1 plus his charisma modifier, so you gain like 4 hit points. In and amongst all of these raids. Yeah.
Can you hear if you're unconscious?
I mean, some people would argue that you can.
I think so, yeah.
I'm genuinely asking the question. I'm curious.
I think
I think
that's
then-
the. I think the rules are you can.
When you're sleeping, you're technically unconscious.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I then with so is Doc now up?
Hmm.
Can I then with Damien run down and pick up Balzanor?
No.
And, like,
Because
drag him back up?
they've essentially moved like through Balzanor's space
But he
to
said
then
he's like
be between
incorporeal,
you and Balzanor.
so surely I can.
Technically, yeah, no,
Shift through them.
technically you could run through. I'd say you still need to make, because you're moving through a creature space, you technically need to make an athletics check still.
I'll make the
Contested
athletics check.
Contested by, I think they would probably do acrobatics. So yeah, roll an athletics check. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think you could physically fail that. So yeah, you just suddenly, with your shield out, you just charge through these things down the stairs towards Balzanor. So you're now like by Balzanor's space, essentially.
Pick him
And
up. Yeet out there.
yeah, I'd say you can like pull him away.
do.
It's forced movement, so he wouldn't incur an attack of opportunity. But if you continue to pull back, you might. If you pull back to the top of the stairs, you are going to get an attack of opportunity from some of these things.
I'll take the risk.
I'd probably say just like one of these things, not like the full group, obviously, because this is thinking about it. So that's that's not going to hit. So you just quickly shield over Balzanor and you pulling him with your left hand and your newfound strength as well. Balzanor is like pretty easy. You're like pulling him with one hand basically up this set of stairs, and this one thing lashes out at you, but it just clangs against your shield. You're able to get out of there.
And then, can I say to Damien and Griffin, help Doc, and basically, can they do the same, but as 2 people rather than 1, because they're kind of weak, not like me. I'm super strong.
Fuck off.
So yeah,
Or
I guess
Damien
that
can
would
do
be
it,
that
and I
would
don't
be
want to
you.
kill
Then
him straight away.
Damien, following your order, just immediately goes, fuck it, here we go, and just runs in. He will roll an athletics check for Damien to push through creature space to grab Doc.
He's after me on the initiative count. Can't I go in with his assistance?
Okay, yeah. So essentially, then Griffin roll an athletics check with advantage to push
I mean,
through.
Doc is also alive now.
He's
Doc
conscious.
is conscious now and prone, but literally, like, imagine you've just been like knocked the fuck out and
True,
are suddenly
true.
now back up. You're not immediately, as much as you're immediately going to scramble to your feet, people are grabbing you. So yeah, damn, critical, nice.
It wasn't
Do
looking
you-
really good, and then Damien's just like, "You've got this, Griffin." And I'm like, "You know what, kid? I do, and I can't be shown up by you, so I'll push in."
Yeah, so you charge the fuck in, grab Doc, and with the both of you pulling, I have no doubt that the both of you would be able to pull back. But the both of you would incur... If you're pulling right to the top of the stairs, you would actually both incur 2 opportunity attacks. One from the people in front of Doc and one from the people in front of Balzanor.
If they've already made them, they can't make them again.
This is a good point. That's actually a very good point. So I'd say probably in the wake of obviously them recoiling from, recoiling from trying to get Griffin, on you two burst in just in that sort of moment before they can get their reaction back. And then so obviously this all goes on, and then it goes back to the top of the initiative, where roll 5d10 for forbiddance.
Do I not get a turn?
Oh, you did, yeah. No, yeah, you would get a turn. So it is then your turn. You're back conscious.
We'd make a death save, wouldn't he?
No, I'm conscious.
No.
But where you were in the initiative order.
I was after Galahad.
But that's irrelevant.
That's
So
very true.
He's
What
up to
a mess
Galahad.
this
I kind
has
of
been.
messed up the initiative there a little bit, but go for it. So you would now get a turn. Essentially, you've been dragged back
I'm going to use my
to the top of the stairs now.
Channel Divinity, Disciple of Life, and I've got 65 hit points to dish out, so I'm going to split it right down the middle. 33 to Balzanor, 32 to me.
So Balzanor, after receiving just an insane amount of pain, literally feeling like your entire soul was being ripped from your body, like Harry Potter, what are they fucking called? The Dementor style. You're now fine. You pick yourself up. You're fine again.
Nice. 35.
No, you guys went down, and then Luke got you up. Doc's then healed both of you more, and then we pushed in and got you out. And then are we now pushing out the door and trying to shut it?
Yeah, you guys are now
I
pulling
think we
out
should
the door.
bottle for a bit.
I mean,
You think we
you
should what,
guys-
sorry?
We should
I
bottle
do
the
not
door.
fancy going back at all in the slightest.
You guys are now pulling
But
out.
then, I don't
and
know
then-
if
So if we say in this in the space of sort of initiative, you guys are now pulling out, like, oh shit, run, and then it would go back to their turn. Roll 5d10 for forbiddance,
Oh, that's still wank.
but it doesn't matter
Oh, thank God.
because all the cacophonous screaming and wailing and howling immediately just grows louder and louder and louder, and just as you guys shut the door, it stops. And you wait there with the door shut for a few moments, like 5-10 seconds, and there's nothing. And you guys know these things are incorporeal, so they should, push through the door, but they're not. They don't. They just... Nothing happens. You slowly sort of peek open the door, like, and looking down, it's dark. And Doc, you almost make a look down with your dark vision.
I run
Like,
in and do a lap and collect all the shiny XP. Where it sparkles on the floor.
Well, that's like, a couple of dozen vases broken as well. I mean, there's some gold in those things if it's going by video game logic.
Absolutely.
But yes, and thankfully all of these fucking things,
Well, that was...
all of these fucking things are now gone.
it was never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
doubt.
I mean, if I didn't roll fucking, 19 for initiative for them, yeah, that would have been a lot smoother, I
How
imagine.
much HP did they
But-
have on that final 5d10 then?
They had, what was it? They had 58 HP, and you rolled 20, and they were taken down. And they have a max HP of 67.
So they had 9 HP.
They had, essentially 9 HP left.
Which is easily
Quite
enough
fussy with this.
if Matt and I hadn't rolled just the worst luck.
Yeah. How
If-
much
if
damage
each-
did you actually give to me there, Ben? Because I think it was 40 something and 50 something.
Yeah,
There's a
easily the most damage anyone has taken.
There's a chance that would have killed me on max HP.
Yeah. Easily, yeah, the most damage anyone's taken in this campaign so
But
far.
that's just a further support to Never in Doubt, I think is what you're saying there.
Just
That's the point you're making.
chalk that one up to experience, lads. And...
But yeah, after an already long day of taking on wraiths and vampires and wizards and creepy and all sorts.
Lazarus kept a kettle around. I could do with a cup of tea.
One of the guards was like, yeah, in the kitchen. I can make you one if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay. Do vampires drink tea? And he's walking around. No, they fucking don't. And him and his mate just start getting in this like argument of whether vampires drink tea. Get away,
Wow,
you
that was a
cretin.
bit scary. Oh,
Never in doubt.
never in doubt.
Never in doubt.
Doubt. Lucky
Yeah,
to be alive, I think. Very
So-
lucky to be alive.
With all of this done, and now suddenly like loads of guards sort of swarmed up on you, and Captain Nearlyell's like, do you mind explaining what happened down there?
Death and
What the
destruction.
Maybe warn some people when you
We
raised
came
a
up with
fireball in a very old manner.
We came up with a Guardian level plan and executed it like the civilians that we are.
I see. Well,
I'm going to like place a very like tired and slightly scorched hand on his shoulder, like with the blessing of Apollo. All things are possible.
right.
Now, where's that tea?
Yes. Well. All right then. Just maybe next time before you do anything crazy like that, warn the innocent guards that are in here. What was down there? Why did you blow up his basement? What is that screaming and howling and wailing?
The screams and howls of the tortured undead.
Oh, as is normal for a basement of a... You could have... My
In the
men
basement
were...
of a vampire mansion.
Yeah,
yes.
what is normal for a
Was that,
basement
is that what
vampire
all those
then?
wine... Is that what all that wine was for down there?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I nearly opened one of them fucking bottles. Put a sign there next time or something. Don't just leave that kind of thing around. Oh, my lord.
Why are we getting shouted at?
Because we didn't put a sign on the
Steve.
fucking wine.
We didn't itemize the crime scene, apparently.
Well, I mean, it's all fine now. Anyway, it's all fine. Just go
Yes, it is. Now,
do what you want.
Where is the shiny?
Go. And he wanders off and he starts speaking to some guards, and many guards are sort of like giving him reports of what they've seen in the several rooms, and like thorough investigations, spending like longer than just a minute looking around, at least like 10-15 minutes in each room, looking under every nook and cranny. You can see lots of files from Lazarus's office being gathered in and put places. And yeah, you can see several things. But what you guys are potentially interested in is the organ with the shiny daggers within. Easily, well, if that is there anything else you wanted to check out in the house, or?
I think that's
Wasn't much else to
stop
it, was
one. I mean, there was that creepy thing in the bath upstairs. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
That was
was just Lazarus's mum.
that Mary, wasn't it? Mary having a bath?
I don't know. Aasimar went in.
I liked it. Ben set it up as a horror thing, and actually it was just them living their daily lives. So I was poking around.
I mean, to be fair, if a bunch of random people came into your house and you were taking a bath, would you not duck under as soon as you saw them come in, hide yourself? And then
No, I think
have a little peek?
I think I'd be slightly more aggressive as to why there were strangers in my bathroom.
Heavily armored strangers.
Thinking
big
about
bubble
it
bath.
as you guys are looking around the area, it very much seems like these were like defense mechanisms of the house. Like, you guys are coming now and gone through fine. No shadowy tendrils have tried to grab you. No creepy paintings have made you see your nightmares.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It seems that now that you're in here, it's perfectly fine. And in fact, many of the guards have turned on torches and candles on and things like that. Turned the lights up. And you know what, actually?
Turn the lights up.
When you turn the lights up, it's actually quite a nice house. Despite all the creepy ornamental fixtures and things like that, it actually could be a very warm and very lovely house if it were given some attention and not in the hands of a vampire.
Imagine what
maybe
you go for in today's market.
But yeah, very, very nice house. But yeah, you guys can head in towards the organ. You can do the FADED on the organ, and suddenly, much the same. So all the sort of piano tiles just sort of clip up and then just and all flip upside down and then sort of shut themselves in. And you guys can see 12 daggers beautifully laid out in inside this organ. You remember some of them look obviously very magical. They have swirling little bits of magic in them. Some of them look a little more basic. Some of them look like they've been very finely made in elvish or some dwarvish designs, sort of things. You can see the many sort of different styles and designs and things like that. Some of them almost have like a Venetian sort of like flair to them. Others, are a lot more basic. And you can gather up 12 daggers, and you can get those identified.
It says 12.
Yes, 12 daggers are in there.
Right.
Anything else you would like to do in Lazarus's mansion before you go?
Get the fuck out of here.
Take a dump on the bed. Maybe not actually, it's a nice establishment now.
Be a nice hotel.
It would be.
Well, 'cause a nice
We should
hotel-
come back here every year for the Tough Boys reunion, we'll call it.
Tough boys or the dumb boys?
A bit of both, depends on the day. Right. I think we can get these identified and sort our magical items.
Yeah.
Alright, so heading back over to the last spell, the closest magic item shop near you, where you met Alfwin. Alfin, sorry. You head back inside, and he's just like, he looks like he's shutting up. It's like, oh, you again. Didn't quite expect you back so soon. I'm just shutting up. Will you be quick?
Yeah, we took out a couple of things. The crowd are open this late, so we're in a little bit of a hurry, but hopefully we can sort
Well,
this
I'm
out.
not generally open this. I'm not usually open this late, but I have a lot of inventory to sort out these days. What with the all the festivities and everything going on, I've been trying to expand my repertoire of items for some things that visitors might like to have, or this masquerade nonsense. Some people would like some masquerade-esque items and
we've
different things.
got a few things for you to look at, which we might be willing to part with to bolster your collection.
Oh, maybe. But what have you got? Let me
I
have.
believe not all these daggers were magical, were they?
Not all of them were, no.
Okay. How many of them were? Is it?
From your memory, considering it was just literally this morning, 4 of them were non-magical, 8 of them were magical.
Ooh.
Okay.
Good.
Well, the 8 magical ones, then, I guess.
All right, let's have a look here and see. So he spent some time. Was like, oh, 8 things. Okay. If you just want to peruse or take a seat, I guess. I'll be with you shortly. And he starts using this strange sort of opal pearl sort of thing to look through and investigate these different magical items. And if I just put you guys back on the capital map. So, you discover that there are 2 +1 magical daggers in an elven sort of design. Very sort of curved and lovely.
They're magical, but only...
They are magical, but they only have +1. Yeah, just basic +1. There is 1 dwarven +2 dagger. Just a basic dagger in a very dwarven hard edge design. And it's +2 to hit, +2 damage. And there is 1 +3 dagger. This is more of a basic design. You definitely wouldn't have thought this one would have been a +3 dagger, but there we go. But yeah, all it is +3. No further properties there. So 2 +1s, 1 +2, and 1 +3.
Is that the Is that the non-magical daggers?
Those were 4 of the magical ones.
Okay.
Sorry, I was wrong. There was only 3 non-magical ones. So there's only 3 non-magic, 4 which are basic, and then 5, which he will tell you have several properties. So the first one, Doc, you recognize this one very, very well. This is called a kinetic dagger. +1 magical dagger, has 3 charges, regains them daily. If the target is no more than 1 size larger than the wielder, on a hit, you can expend a charge to force the target to make a DC 15 strength saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed up to 20 feet away in a straight line. On a successful save, the target takes half the damage and isn't pushed.
That's just a +1, yeah? That
is just a +1 basic dagger. Next up is the Wrath Dagger. You guys have faced this one as well, and you recognize it from Lazarus's arsenal. A basic +1 magic dagger, has 3 charges, recharges them daily. On a hit, you can expend a charge to force the target to make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 2d6 psychic damage and is frightened of you until the beginning of your next turn. Till the end of your next turn. On a successful save, target takes half the damage and is not frightened. Next up, Corroder. You guys also remember this one, but thankfully no one came to its effects. This is a +2 magical dagger. Has 3 charges, recharges them daily. When you hit a creature with this dagger, you can expend a charge to cause to force the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes an extra 3d6 acid damage, and if the target is wearing metal armor, their AC is reduced by 1. If the creature carries a shield, their shield takes the penalty first and is destroyed if it reduces it to a point where the shield no longer gives a bonus to AC, and any armor is destroyed if it reduces the AC by 3.
Was that a +2 dagger, sorry?
That was a +2 dagger.
Okay. These all... do you have to throw them to get the effect, or because he was throwing them?
Throw or stab.
Slash
Either or. Next up, the doubling dagger, or the duplicating dagger. Either or. This is a +2 magical dagger, and this one, only when thrown, so when you throw this dagger at a target, you can choose for the dagger to duplicate itself and target another creature. Make an additional attack roll for this other creature. If the dagger hits or misses, the duplicate disappears. So you throw it, it splits in 2, and can hit someone else, as well as the original target. And finally, and rather interestingly, he looks at this dagger, and this dagger, when you hold it, seems a bit weird. It's like a rod, like a metal rod with these strange sort of like bumps and things in it. It almost looks a little bit like... It looks a little bit strange because it looks like a rod that has had a blade like affixed to it and with it after. You can click the blade in and out. And on the other side is a button. And there is a rather lovely sort of almost like plant-like design, like sort of like tree-like design and bark-like design around it, but it's made of metal. This is called the immovable dagger. It's a +3 dagger attached to an immovable rod. The flat iron rod has a button on one end. You can use an action to press the button, which causes the rod to become magically fixed in place. Until you or another creature uses an action to push the button again, the rod does not move, even if it is defying gravity. So you can literally click the button in the air, let go, it's there, in the air. That's it. The rod can hold up to 8,000 pounds of weight. More weight causes the rod to deactivate and fall. A creature can use an action to make a DC 30 strength check, moving the fixed rod up to 10 feet on a success. One thing I will note is it is a very obvious button. So, you know, as much as you could stick it on a person and press the button, that person could very easily identify, oh, there's a button on top of this, I wonder what that does. Obviously, they don't know what it does. It could mean that that a blade comes out of the end and stabs them. But yeah, you can click the blade of this in and out. So basically, it's an immovable rod that also technically works as a dagger.
Nice.
That's pretty fucking cool.
And those are all of the magical daggers that you find. If you need me to go through any more of them, let me know.
Okay.
But you have the kinetic dagger, the wrath dagger, corroder, the doubling dagger, the immovable dagger.
Doc, would you like
After
the kinetic dagger because you have such a good relationship with it, or?
Yeah, I have a great relationship with this. If no one's got any objections, I'll take kinetic.
I mean, you're basically already attuned to it if it needed attunement. So.
Spent so long lodged in your ribcage.
after
I feel like
doing all these daggers, if I might interject just for 1 second, after doing all these daggers, he sort of finishes up and goes, there we are. If I might ask, how did you come in place of... But how did you come into all these daggers? You lot don't seem like the kind of people... That makes more sense. You lot don't seem like the kind of people who hold daggers. You know, if you had non-magical weapons that you would like some of the properties of these weapons, transferred into, I'm also a rather proficient enchanter and can do that for you. So if you would like the, kinetic dagger to be a kinetic hammer, say, I can do that.
I mean,
It will take me about a day.
Magical weapons, or can you do it with magical weapons?
No, sadly, the way enchantment works is you can't enchant an already enchanted thing.
could you imagine if you could throw your hammer at someone, deal damage, and then make them take force damage? Would that work?
But he can do that. It's just whether he gets it back.
Well,
Well, it's just a wrap, isn't it, that does that?
The wrap brings it. The wrap allows me to throw it and bring it back because it's not normally a thrown weapon. But it's already magical, so I can't.
Yeah.
I don't think I have it.
Yes.
I mean, other than like getting an entirely different weapon to have this on, unless I literally went out and bought a mundane something to put it on that would be better than a dagger.
Yeah, I mean,
You certainly could do. Just a thought. I noticed none of you hold daggers, and if I'm honest, these daggers would look a bit weird for men big and brutish as you lot to then suddenly have a shield and a dagger. But I don't know. You do you. It's just an option. And also gets me some more money because you do have to pay for it. Or, if you want to keep them as daggers, I have this bandolier of returning. And he takes it, puts it on really quickly, takes one of the daggers, slots it in, leaves it in there for about 10 seconds, and you realise that one of the sheaths of the bandolier forms to the shape of the dagger. And then he pulls it out and throws the dagger across the room. And as it flies across the room, it reaches just about the end of the room, looks like it's just about to hit one of the panes of glass that holds this beautiful beautiful robe or something. And then the dagger flies back and goes back into the robe. A good tool for, when you want to throw daggers and not have them go away.
Oh, wow. How much is that?
Well, this 100 gold pieces. But it doesn't have to be daggers, it can also be hand axes, anything that you throw, really. Any light things you can throw, like a boomerang or a child. No, not a child. Child wouldn't work. If you had a ball or I don't know, your holy people, do you throw vials of holy water? I mean, I guess the only thing that would be coming back to you after that is shards of glass.
Yeah,
so that's probably not very good.
Less ideal.
I feel like, what did you call it again?
Bandolier of returning.
Okay, I feel like 100 gold is pretty good.
We'll buy it one.
This is a special price because you guys have had me identify a lot, and that's earned me a lot of money today.
Yeah, we probably.
Oh, yeah, how much?
Also,
for the tag?
bear in mind, so you owe 20 gold pieces for each time you identify something, and he's identified 9 things for you. So 180 gold.
45 gold each.
I mean, I don't recall wanting to get any of these things identified.
But you will partake in the spoils, I'm guessing.
It depends.
I do. I remember you saying Galahad wanted a dagger, so
He does want a dagger, yeah.
another raw man like Galahad, I'm sure will take part. On the subject of, we've got 5 that do shit and 4 that don't.
Does anyone have any preference? What do people want?
I quite like the
now.
immovable rod one, if that's okay.
That's fine by me.
That is a generally just very useful item. I've been listening to a
I
campaign
feel
which
like-
uses it a lot. A movable rod can be used in many, many situations.
I feel like as the only one of us that doesn't wear armor, Balzanor might benefit from having the one, the corroder.
Balzanor does wear armor, I believe. Now
Doesn't
that he's
wear.
I've got
fighter.
studded leather armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one do you have a preference to? What's left? The
what was- what were the
divider,
ones?
the corroder.
So,
JJ's taking the
so
kinetic
what's been taken now? The immovable
So
dagger's been taken.
I've got kinetic.
So you've got you've got kinetic.
Yeah.
So what's left is wrath, corroder, or doubling dagger.
The duplicating one only works when thrown.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a +2 dagger.
I mean, if you don't want one with a special feature, then you could just take the basic +3 one.
How old would you say the +3 one was, Ben?
What do you mean? How old is it? Like, how old?
Like, how old
Like-
is it? Like, when was it made? Does it look, could it be 900 years old?
Doc, make an intelligence check with proficiency, because you're a dwarf and you might know things about
12.
blacksmithing and that sort of thing. 12.
Not really.
You're not entirely sure. It's elven make, so much like elves, they make their much like elves themselves, their stuff doesn't
Elves
really show a lot of
themselves.
age. When you look at an elven blade, they haven't really changed style or design in thousands of years. 1,000 years ago, things were still very curvy and sleek and beautiful. So this could have been made yesterday. It could have been made 100 years ago, 200 years ago. You have no idea.
So the only one that I'm really interested in is either the splitter one or the just plain dagger. So Matt, do you have it? What do you want?
What do you want?
If you want any of them, because we could just sell it.
I
And-
don't really mind, to be honest.
I had first dibs on the belt, so you can have dibs on whichever of the daggers.
No, I'm not too fussed about daggers. If you want, take the one you want, basically.
Now
I
the
feel like
splitter
Balzanor's
one.
just looking at the dagger in his hand, and he's like, "It's not fire, is it?"
Exactly. If this cannot catch fire, what is the
That's
point?
I mean, anyone mind if I take the splitter then?
Nope, help yourself.
Okay.
You can have as many as them as you like.
Anyone mind if I also have the elven one?
The basic +3 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go for it.
Who's
You've got
taking
a +2.
the I forgot what you called it, but the sheath which allows them to fly back straight back.
The bandolier of returning.
The Bandolier of Returning. Don't know who is taking the Bandolier of Returning.
I mean, someone who has who throws stuff.
I mean, whoever's got the most amount of the daggers should probably take it.
I mean, that's only if you want to buy it, because it's an extra 100 for that person.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty cool, but I don't really have
I mean,
anything.
It
Can I
would
put-
look cool.
Can I throw my great club at somebody and get that to come back?
Sadly, no. These are basically anything that has the light property.
Yeah.
Ben, what was that save, by the way, on...
They're all 15.
all
Can I get
15?
that from Mazzy?
Huh?
Can I get that from Mazzy?
Um,
Because I could have my magical arrows come get straight back.
in theory, you could. But I mean, if you wanted this exact one, you would have to buy it from this guy and then give it to Mazzy. And then by the time we get back to Mazzy, we have to play through like 3 or 4 days of stuff before it even would get sent. Magically, it would appear to him that point, non-magically.
I was genuinely
Whatever.
thinking earlier, like, would this be better on someone else who isn't here and wondering about buying it, but I was like, I didn't know who to buy it for.
I would like to have it with Mazzy, but is that...
The thing is, Matt, there's a lot of post strikes at the moment, so I don't think.
If I know
it's not quite next day
to
delivery.
kind of knock this on the head, saying Doc knows Mazzy the best. If I buy it for Mazzy, then send a message to Angus and leave it at... Oh, I can't remember the name of the inn we've been staying at.
The Westland Tavern's the inn you stay at. Although you haven't stayed there in a couple of days.
The
You've been staying
Westland
at
Tavern for Angus
temples.
to pick up and deliver to Mazzy, because I know Mazzy's gone north.
Yeah.
Could we say that?
You could do. So you can pick that up.
Okay, I will do that.
And
I'll knock off 100 gold and
yeah.
send that to
And when are you sending the message to Angus?
that'll have to be tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. So Bandolier is with Doc. I'll stick all of the daggers, thing later. You guys are all adventuring together, so if at any point anyone wants to switch, none of these are attuned, by the way. You don't have to attune to any of them. So these are just cool daggers that you get.
Yeah,
Selling up here.
I was going to say, I think we've got 2+1s or +2, and then we've got Wrath and Corroder. If no one wants any of the others to sell on the spot now.
I think so.
I think, yeah, sell them.
Yeah. Unless Mazzy wants another dagger and I send him a dagger with it as well, Matt.
I mean, that would be... when I was saying no to all the daggers, I wasn't really thinking about Mazzy. Yes. What hasn't been claimed?
Corroder.
Again.
+2,
I got
3
you, Luke.
charges, 3d6 acid, reduces target's AC.
Yeah.
Or Wrath,
To be fair,
which makes them afraid.
if people are happy and are allowing me to do this, everything that hasn't been taken, can I send to Mazzy?
I'm
Boy.
gonna put this down to Doc. So this is Mazzy isn't here right now. Balzanor has met Mazzy maybe twice. So this is all down to what Doc
I think the bandolier and one dagger is
Mazzy would
probably
do.
like what I would be like, because I'm not 100% certain if daggers are, daggers.
That's fair.
So if I buy your bandolier and send you the corroder as well.
Yeah. Okay.
and
I
then we sell
will
everything
definitely be
else.
happy with that. That's cool.
Okay, so we're selling Wrath +2 and 2+1s.
There you go, Luke. That should be done for you.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Thank you.
How much bang we getting?
So sorry. What you selling?
2+1s, a +2, and Wrath.
So 2+1s. So the +1 daggers he will buy for 150 gold pieces each. The +2 he will buy for 250 gold pieces. And for what one specifically was it you were selling again? 2+1s, a +2, and Wrath. Wrath he will buy for 500 gold pieces.
500. Everyone happy with that, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyone charismatic want to weigh in?
Certainly. Hello, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Here is your money for the sale of that, and just hand a massive bag of
Before we
gold.
complete this transaction, I feel like we've not to toot our own horn a little bit. I feel like we've been good customers to you, and I think maybe there's a little something that could sweeten the deal here, so that everyone leaves. You're very happy, and we're happy, but we could be very happy as well.
What?
I don't know, just a bit more.
I'm gonna be honest
Should we
here.
get
I'm
for
trying
that
to close up. What? Just cut to the goddamn chase, man.
These daggers are quite
okay.
valuable and possibly worth a little bit more, is what my friend here is trying to say, I believe.
Yes. How much are we getting for them at the moment? Is it 500?
At the moment, we're getting 1,050 total.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
why don't we just bump that up to 1,400?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage for that jump to 1400. And it's like the end
Anyone
of
want to
his...
help me?
The sheer
I
I
would
was
say-
trying to weigh in and
I would
help.
say Doc is helping you, so this is just a straight persuasion roll. $1,200 and you got a deal.
Oh, shake hands on that. Yes, sir.
Sweet.
There you go.
Everyone gets 300 more gold.
Woo!
Now,
You're very much.
if you would please allow me to leave my store and go home.
Yes, of course.
That's still, mate.
We
You
must
can
rush
leave
off
when
as
you
well.
want.
We have. I think we're gonna be late, guys.
Oh, you guys are definitely going to be like... It's 7:30. You guys are way over here, and you need to get to the castle.
What for this?
That
meeting?
is, for this meeting, even if you bought a cab, you would be about an hour and a half late.
Anyone know teleportation?
No.
No.
To transform to something faster. Let's hop in a carriage then and roll from there.
Yeah, gold piece for the carriage ride. Actually, all the way over there, 2 gold pieces for the carriage ride.
Each?
I'm gonna summon.
No, just 2 gold pieces.
Well
I'm gonna
volunteered.
find steed.
Griffin.
Use my last spell slot to do find steed, so I can ride ahead and no wrong way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can cast Find Steed. Find Steed takes 10 minutes to cast. But hey, you're already late. Might as well make it fashionable. What form does your steed take?
It is a horse called Chutney because I like chutney.
Horse called chutney. I'm writing that down as a thing that Griffin officially likes. Griffin likes chutney.
What kind of chutney are we
There we go.
talking? Like mango chutney,
I mean, obviously mango is good, but you only really get that on the coast. You know,
caramelized red onion chutney.
Yeah, that's good. You do some good stuff for that. So just let me quickly look up chutneys, and then I can roleplay this character.
Well, while you look up chutneys, and you guys are traveling across the capital to a meeting that you are devilishly late for, shall we all take a quick break and come back in 5 minutes
Probably
to,
good.
yes,
To the
get
tune
back
of chutneys.
to the tune of hopefully speed through a couple of bits that I wanted to make sure we got done this week. So, picking back up then, you guys have had a long, harrowing ride through the city streets, obviously telling the guy where you're going, and maybe mentioning that you're a little bit late and who you guys are. This carriage rider is a little bit more lenient with the speeds that carriage. There isn't an official speed limit. It's generally just don't knock things over and be a nuisance. And he's quite a skilled carriage rider, and he manages to get you there in probably record time, but you're still fucking late by at least an hour.
Would I have got there before them if I was just riding solo?
You probably would have. However, you don't know the capital all that well, so it would have been one of them things where
I'm lost.
It sort of bounced it. Roll me an intelligence check or a survival check, either or.
Survival, not intelligence.
Oh, actually, that's one thing to point out with your intelligence. Have you attuned to your act yet?
No,
or tried to attune to your
I'm
act?
terrified of the question.
That's fair enough.
Speak to
survival.
someone about it. What's up?
So the guys arrive there, and it's easily like a minute or two. You know, you get out the cab, you sort out payment, whatever, and then finally you arrive. Just sort of a moment later, while their
Run
carriage
away!
is
Oh,
thinging
shit.
off. Well, their carriage is sort of like thinging off. Like you thought at one point that, you know, you saw a shortcut, or you were like, oh, I wonder why they went that route. This way is obviously more direct. And there's a bit of like a road closure. Some of the paving is being redone on a bit of the road. So there's a lot of like traffic going in. You end up waiting behind a bunch of people, trying to move them out of the way. But trying to move people in the capital out of the way is like, especially on an evening like this where everyone's just wanting to go home, settle in for the evening. There's a lot of stuff going on, but you all make it to the capital nonetheless, and you stand in front of the bridge. Make it to the capital, you're in the capital. Make it to the castle nonetheless, and you all stand in front of the bridge. It is now nighttime, it is like pitch black outside. There's maybe just that sort of faint shimmer of red on the horizon of the sun, but, you know, they asked for you at sundown, and the sun is basically gone, so you obviously know, yeah, we're fucking late. The guards notice you and have clearly been told to keep watch for you, and one of them, and if you remember, the guards on this bridge are like huge towering men wearing like, you know, the largest and heaviest plate mail you've ever seen. Each space between the plates is reinforced, so literally nothing is getting through that armor. And they wield like these massive tower shields. But one of them does sort of like, you know, hobble on over to you, or clank on over to you is more like it. And he's like, you're the Guardians, right? You've been requested. You're quite considerably later than we would have imagined. It's fine. We'll have a man show you up to the... Just head on over the bridge, head in, tell them who you are. Believe the council might be waiting for you. But yeah. Head on in quickly now, go on. And you're ushered in. As you enter the sort of castle sort of interior, so you obviously you would head over this sort of bridge here and head into this small interior space where you can tell a couple of people are waiting for you. These a robed man and a woman, blonde sort of curled hair, the man sort of a slightly simpler, like bowl haircut sort of a look. They walk up to you like, oh, thank goodness, there you are. We're the council assistants. Please, if you would just come this way. And as you know, the woman is leading you up the stairs, and she's like, well, you are to speak properly to the council. You're not to speak unless spoken to. You know, going through a lot of these basic things of just being prim and proper in front of the council, whereas the man is going through you all and like trying to pull little bits out of your hair, because none of you guys have washed or anything since fighting a fucking vampire today or fighting wraiths today. So he's got like little napkins and he's wiping away some of the blood and things, and he's also got like this small makeup kit as well, and he just like and he's almost like got these little things, and he's like got like different skin tones, and he's dabbing away at some of your bruises to try and hide some of the bruises on your face. He's got a napkin. And he's got a napkin, and it very much seems that way. It seems like, you know, he's trying to prim and proper you up. And by the time you get into the castle, through sort of a large gate and up one of the main towers in the castle, he's pretty much done like each of your faces, and he starts to sort of move over to try and just like wipe off some of the bits of blood and muck and things like that from some of your armors, where the woman just like clicks at him, and he almost like a dog just like runs over to it, walks over, just like, sorry, Mom, yes, you go and you'll look nice. And he looks a bit off. The woman says, just be polite. Remember, you are in the presence of the council, and you'll be fine. Please, go in. And it's not, the stuff she's saying to you is nothing that you wouldn't have either heard before or presumed going to meet the council. There's no like special thing about going to meet the council. It's just imagine you're talking to people who are obviously much higher station than you. So you've gone up one of the main towers of the castle, and it's almost like a side sort of jut off. You know how like tall towers have those like small sort of side tower bits that sort of stick off. It's like you're sort of going up into that. So you have to go up a small staircase and get into that, where two guards are waiting out the front. These two guards, again, big towering men, plate mail armor. And they open the door, and inside are the council members. So inside are the council members. So Councilman Ivan, Councilman Ambyr, Councilman Whitash, Councilman Grandwind, and Councilwoman Dewforge. Interestingly, not Councilwoman Neelith. As you all enter, Councilman Ivan is sort of clearly very bored. He's sat there, feet up on this large desk, a large sort of like round table in front of them, which has a map of the capital on it, and a slightly zoomed in map on one end of the capital. So has a map of like Ambyr over the whole thing, zoomed in map of the capital on one end. There are many different sort of like little flags they've placed in certain places. What they mean, you don't know. But Councilman Ivan sort of, you're late. Where were you all?
Yes, our apologies. We went through some of the things we acquired from Lazarus's house and discovered a fiendish plot to attack some of the city and the upcoming King's Ball with these bottles wraiths. So we elected to tackle that before arriving. It was a little bit more challenging than we were expecting, but has now been dealt with and is no longer a problem.
When you say wraiths, no one really knows what you mean, except for Councilman Whitash, the Councilman of Religious Affairs. And he's like, oh, wraiths, my word, and they're all dealt with. You're sure they're all dealt with?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Then Councilman Ivan, in classic Dwarven standard, just goes, the bastard! Well, I guess if there's any excuse to be made, that's a pretty good one. Didn't really miss much, just council members catching up, filling each other in. And also, sadly, you missed your toast. But here you are, there's drink for you each anyway. And there's this, they hand over, or at least not them, but a servant stood in the corner. You would almost think he's a statue with how still he's been stood, with these four sort of like flute glasses of very, very expensive champagne. And it's this champagne, champagne in a medieval world isn't obviously very common. It's you have to magically sort of do things with the bubbles and all that stuff. And also when you look into it, there's this almost like golden swirl, this magical light golden swirl within it. And when you drink it, it does in fact heal you. So you can all add 1d6 hit points back.
That's not shit to me.
It is. No, it is. I mean, if you like, if your characters don't like your wine and all that sort of stuff, then you wouldn't like it. But it is very fruity, very I mean, I'm personally not a wine connoisseur, but it tastes like one of the best champagnes or wines you will have ever tasted in your life. This stuff must come thousands of gold pieces to the bottle. As you take a sip, and many of the servants sort of, some servants sort of stood in the corner, sort of come in, and they pull out chairs for you, so that you can sit amongst the council. Councilman Ivan stands and says, "Well, I'd better do the toast quickly then, so that we can get on. When all was pretty much lost, our families taken from us, for some our minds taken from us, I truly thought, well, I didn't know it was going to happen. It's very, very nice to know that there are members of the populace, that's the word I'm looking for, members of the populace that can stand up and fight for this land. Makes me very proud to come from Ambyr when I know that there are people like you lot here to defend us, here to proudly serve us. When I see such godly men as well, gives me hope for our people. We may weather these truly trying times." Raise this glass. Many of the councilmen are like, "Here, here, here, here," and they all sort of like give that very, very faint sort of council clap. To well, I know Glyndon and Mazarius and what was his name? Oramus was a guy. Looks at you. Dokrumir, are these guys guardians? What do I call? To the guardians! Takes a swig, and he literally downs his entire flute in one. Slams the flute down on the table like but in doing so, a large crack goes up the side of the flute. Clearly not quite knowing his own dwarvish strength. So, we have all been discussing the several plans. I've been asked to lead this council meeting.
Just a quick one. Sorry to interrupt you, good councilman Ivan, but can't help but notice that not all council people, if you like, are present.
Yes, well, that was. Let me get to my point. That was one of the things I was going to say. I have been asked to lead this council meeting as we believe we are in a state of, well, a breach of security. And I, as the councilman of war, have been delegated to do this. And first things first, I was going to say yes, was that Councilman of Finance and Treasury, Aasimar Hazelguard, the Council Political Advisor, Bazana Alderbell, and the Councilman of Arts and Culture, Hamish Andruval, have all been arrested and are currently in the dungeons downstairs. A trial will be set for them. They will all face trial and judgment accordingly. They are being interrogated and interviewed on what they might know. As far as we have heard, none of them have come out with anything as of yet. They were clearly very loyal to Lazarus, which is a problem, because we need answers. But we believe answers, if not lie with them, lie with other members of the council. Councilman Whitash, you knew more about this. Would you like to take this one? Yes. Well, I was looking around my house trying to find information, trying to find any evidence of what happened during my charmed effect, and I found several letters from the other councilmen who have been arrested, saying that other lords and ladies of the land were in on their plot. We're not quite sure who, but we know that many of them are coming to the ball, the masquerade ball. We were hoping to use the ball as a means of identifying these lords and ladies. We have ideas on a couple of them, but we will need to confirm with you. We'll need to spend the next couple of days confirming with you whether that is them or not. But yes, we were indeed thinking that maybe the ball could be a good opportunity to greet some of these lords face to face. The death of Lazarus Barronhill is on the down low for the minute. Not many people know about his demise, and we have tried to keep it that way so that any of these lords and ladies will still want to come to such an event, and maybe we can catch them in the act, sort of thing, whilst they are hoping for whatever's to happen. But clearly these wraiths, whilst they are awaiting these things to happen, we can confront them, catch them in the act, or use other methods of subterfuge and sabotage to try and catch them confessing to being a part of this overall plan. But as of yet, we have no names. I believe that is all, Councilman Yvonne. Yes, good. You also had something else, Councilman Whitash, you wanted to say on what you found. Oh, yes, I've also been told that many of the clerics and priests of the city, not all of them, obviously, but several of them have been sent further afield. It seems that I approved this myself in my charmed state. Many of them have been sent to places like Inksworth, and Blackwind, and Greywater, and all these places. I don't know why. In reading some of these letters, said that it was for some form of religious training or helping the people of these places, but it seems they're not here. And this is obviously...
Was a theory, Councilman Whitash?
Of course, please, yes.
I believe you were coerced into sending all of your holy men away because an army of the undead makes its way towards the capital.
They must be brought back with utmost haste.
You guys mentioned an army of undead to them earlier on today, didn't you? Or did you?
I don't know. It was
I don't think you did.
Meeting.
Yeah, I don't think you did. So Councilman Yvonne's like, fucking what? An army of undead.
Yes.
Why don't we tell you what we know, which might inform some of what you know?
I think that would be good. Miss Dewforge and Mr. Grandwind will leave what you know till a little moment later. Maybe we can piece together some of what you know and some of what they know. Yes, Guardians, why don't you take us away? Finally you decided to show up. And he looks past you guys, and you can hear the of high heels coming from behind you. You turn around, and there, greeting you, is Councilwoman Neelith. She approaches the room wearing a very long, well, actually no, not very long, very sort of tight, thin dress that flows a little down to the bottom. Her hair is in one of those like Padme Amidala impossible hair pieces, and she has been caked up with so much makeup that you think there's probably several layers to just get to her skin beneath.
Well,
but
she's
she
been dead
does
for like 2 days, so she probably needs it.
But she does look undoubtedly beautiful as she approaches you. There's not a scratch on her, not a mark on her, despite what you guys have seen. And as she approaches, yes, Councilman, I'm terribly sorry I'm late. It does take a moment to look as I do. Yeah, there's a bloody there's apparently an army of undead coming to us, Councilwoman Neelith. Just sit down. Yes, I'm terribly sorry. Will not happen again. I was caught in on myself. I just had some things to deal with. She heads in.
I just sort of welcome her in and say, we are surprised to see you, my lady. Lazarus gave us the impression that, that he had killed you, in all honesty.
Well, hasn't he been found out to be a vampire? Would you trust anything that comes out of a vampire's mouth? Aren't they meant to be very deceitful creatures, very charismatic creatures? I confess I don't really know much on vampires myself, but
it claims to have 4 flagons of your blood. Have you lost any of that recently?
Oh, dear Lord!
Very sensitive question to ask.
Up to touch, it's sensitive. Sorry. Oh, time and a place. Fuck, I've ruined it. Fuck, I've ruined the meme.
I don't believe I've
Where's HR?
lost. I don't believe I've lost any blood. Like I said, he's a vampire. Would you believe anything that came out of his mouth? He's a madman. He was a madman.
Insight check.
He's been dealt with now.
There we go.
Yeah, of course you can. You can insight
I
check.
also get on that insight check.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's a good roll. Fair play, Luke. But
Man.
Oh, that's slightly better.
Oh.
So you two sort of like, as you're looking at her, you almost like take a look over at each other and then back at her. And she's a fucking hard woman to read. You're sort of looking at her and you realize, like, how shall I put this? She seems like she is being somewhat honest, but there's a tinge of something. You don't know what it is. It's something in her voice. Something just about her in general that's a little bit off. With what she's saying, you can find no fault in it. She's either an incredible actress or she's genuinely telling the truth. But
Would it be an affront to the council to cast Zone of Truth?
well, I'm gonna say. Well, I'm glad that you are well, but forgive me for this possible intrusion. But you can never be too safe in these circumstances, and I'm going to cast Detect Good and Evil, or Detect Evil and Good.
does that require any VSM
Probably.
stuff?
Yeah, V and S.
V and S. As soon as you begin casting a spell,
Lecture about conducting council meetings. Immediately cast spell.
as soon as you begin casting the spell, held actions go off by the guards that are sort of dotted around the room. They immediately just start rushing to. What the hell do you think? Like, people are screaming at you right now. Council are being pulled back behind some of the. So there's like 4 guards in this room. 2 of them rush towards you, and 2 of them begin like putting themselves and their shields in front of the council, like extremely worried. And Councilwoman Neelith is one of them.
Put up your swords, you damn fools! That wasn't the right voice, but
they're immediately worried. And Councilman Avandrich, Dokrumir, what the hell is going on here? What do you think you're doing?
I mean, do I get off my spell?
I would say, yeah, your spell goes off. No one really goes after you.
Okay.
Put the spell in the chat. I'd be interested to read specifically what it says.
Fiend's Lesser
Russian celestial element of a fiend within 30 undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, if you know there's a place or object within 30 feet of you magically consecrated or desecrated, the spell can penetrate most barriers. You know, if... Oh, as well as where the creature is located.
His eyes aren't doing a good enough job of that.
Would she be? You detect one undead thing within 30 feet of you. Which is Nathaniel, your companion.
Prick.
And you detect another one.
Oh, yeah.
Which is indeed Councilwoman Neelith.
Oh no.
However, she does not look dead.
No,
She really doesn't look dead.
In about 3 layers of makeup, as you described.
But even like her eyes, like you can't cover eyes in makeup. Her eyes are pupil full, and whenever you've seen dead things, the colour has generally gone out of their eyes. If they have colour in them at all,
but
usually
we
they just go completely
encountered
white. So
Hamish with some guards that were moving around and acting normally.
You did.
So I will like
I
put
mean,
up
there's
my
a
hands
whole
in like
host
a
of magic.
surrendery, like I'm not doing anything else gesture. Like, apologies, but I've already encountered one council member in the company of undead guards, and I have now discovered that Lady Neolith is lying to us. She is undead.
but the entire council immediately goes into shock, and like the guard guarding her, like just slowly begins to back off and point his weapon towards her. What kind of this is purported. Do you seriously believe this madman? I mean, why should we? All the council are just like, "Aye, Dokrumir, you'd better start talking right about now." And Councilman Ivan, on his back, he like still even in this council meeting has his massive great axe, and even he is now pushing away the guard that's guarding him and starts taking out this massive great axe. All the guards begin turning towards you and her.
When I arrived in this city, I met with Councilman Hamish, sought me and Glendon out. His manner was not convincing. His insistence of us attending this ball was quite alarming. Well, he put me on edge, to cut a long story short, and he seemed to have some kind of injury that he would not let me tend to. He would not even let me look at. On his arm, mayhaps you can check that he has some mark when he is next questioned in the dungeons. He has some injury or some mark of some kind. He was found, or I discovered him to be in the company of a number of undead guards. These were of a kind I have never encountered before. They walked and talked and acted perfectly normally. However, their nature...
So you're saying that Councilman Hamish, that fat plod, the one with the weird voice and one leg, is somehow a necromancer?
No,
The Councilman of Arts and Culture?
No, I have absolutely no
Necromancer.
belief that he is.
This is
I believe
preposterous.
he was given these guards by someone else. I believe that someone has ties to Lazarus in some way. I believe now, unfortunately, my lady, that you also have ties to him and the plot that he was involved in.
Dokrumir, might I remind you who in fact told you the information of the council? If I was undead, why would I ever tell you who in the council was charmed, who in the council was...
Because at
anything.
the time you were your true self, and now I believe you to not be. I believe that unfortunately, the forces that found you when we met that night have found you once again in our absence, and have turned you to their side. I believe against your will, my lady, but I believe you ought to be on their side now, and cannot trust you.
There is a very long pause in the council chambers, and it goes eerily silent. These guards are now pointing like, make me a persuasion check. I'd say, yeah, just maybe a general persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion. That's not bad for me.
That's not bad. So many of the guards begin to turn, like one or two of them are still sort of keeping eyes on you, but many turn towards Councilwoman Neolith. And everyone's just sort of looking there like, Councilwoman Neolith, would you mind coming for some... Wait, Councilman Whitash, you're priestly fella, can you do something? Yes, I haven't had to use many of these spells.
I just hold, like, slowly, maybe edge slightly closer to Neolith and just hold an action to restrain her if she makes a sudden move.
Yeah. If you'll just give me 1 second. Cool. So yeah, you begin to move closer, and she just raises a hand to you. I don't think that will be necessary, Councilman Whitash. I think it will. Let me see. And you begin to realize he's beginning to do the same things you are, detect good and evil. And he begins to cast the spell. And she's like, I would stop now. No, if you just give me a second, I would stop now.
I'd like to
Neelith.
spell as well.
Neelith, what are you doing? Councilman Whitash, stop. And it's on the word stop, literally just the word stop. Councilman Whitash goes completely pale. Immediately completely pale.
I tackle her.
And he hits the floor dead.
Oh shit. Yeah, I tackle her.
Yeah, you immediately run over and tackle her. And you easily smack her to the ground. You're a pretty hefty paladin, and she's not expecting it. Easily tackled to the ground. But as you hit the ground, like everyone is suddenly, like guards run over to Councilman Whitash. Everyone's currently doing everything. Councilman Ivan begins to run in with his great axe, and then suddenly there is this burst of arcane energy. Can you make me a strength saving throw, please, Griffin?
Yeah, with pleasure. Oh no. Double threes.
So you suddenly like fly off of her. So does Councilman Ivan fly off of her? Yeah, he does. You both suddenly just like fly off of her a moment. As she begins to slowly raise... Hold person? Alrighty. Passes. You can tell there is a struggle within her for a minute, but she almost just like snaps away. And as she begins raising up off the ground, it's not like she's lifting herself up. It's like she's literally flying in the air. And as she is, you can see her entire facade begin to melt away, like water was being poured over her, and with this water she was being cleansed of this illusion. Instead of the very beautiful woman that you see in front of you, you now see one of the most horrifying things you've ever seen in your entire life. Councilwoman Neelith has been beaten, has been slashed and stabbed and bludgeoned. Her face is unrecognizable. Oh. It's basically like a massive dent, and you can just about see her mouth. Oh, she has like vampiric bites in her neck, in her shoulders, in her face. She has a large gash right over her chest that literally cuts through ribs as if they were butter. Her intestines are hanging out her front. She's missing a leg, and just the muscle and sinew is dangling there. It is awful as all of this fades away, and it's still in the same clothes she was in a few nights before, after you guys met her.
Oh, I wasn't long after then.
And as she rises in the air, suddenly her eyes just flare, and these like white flames, almost just like a bit larger than candle flames, emerge from her eyes. And a voice comes from her. This is not Councilwoman Neelith's voice. This is a different voice. A voice that brings a cold chill throughout the air, and it moves through the air like a whisper. None of you have heard it before, except for Galahad.
Oh no.
This is the last voice you heard before you died. Council of Ambyr. Might I introduce myself? My true name is Yara, and you will all call me Queen. And the body then moves. Now not moving naturally, as if like animated, like a puppeteer is pulling the strings, and it just sort of glances over. Now, bow. None of the council move. Many of the guards sort of begin to stand in front of her. Well, I expected more. Hello again, Galahad. Nice to see you again. Palor has done wonders for your complexion. Looking a little more alive now. And the rest of you that call yourselves guardians, hello. I've heard of your exploits. Nice to meet you in the... well, to see you in the flesh, anyway. This is obviously not my form. Neelith was an act. And well done. I did think this was going to be a bit rudimentary to try and sit in on your little council meeting, but I thought I might as well give it a shot. Maybe I'd overestimated you. Consider this me laying out my demands, Council of Ambyr. I have an army of undead that I've been gathering for the last 900 years. These are not men, women, and children like you will put before me. No, these are men and monsters alike, anything I could get my hands on. They have no fear. They cannot be exhausted. And they will tear your land to the ground unless you follow these 3 simple steps. And Yara puts her hand up, and you realize that at this point she doesn't have a thumb or a pinky finger, so that this point could be illustrated. Well, yeah, I say Yara. Councilwoman Neela's body puts her hand up, so she literally only has 3 fingers. Number 1, I want your king put on a nice little pedestal for me to deal with on the day my army arrives. Number 2, I would like your gates open and armies abandoned. They will not be near this city, and you will give this city to me. And 3, there will be 4 pikes on the main gate to this city, and upon these pikes will be the heads of Balzanor Blaze, Griffin Asahi, Galahad, Astrador, and Dokrumir, the exile. Do these things for me, and the people inside the city will live. And I promise you I will be a fair ruler to you all in the new world. My armies will not need to march into your city. They will not need to kill all of your men, husbands and wives, sons and daughters. And your city will live. Fail at least one of these things, and my army will march into this city and ensure that by the dawn, the only things in this city will be dead. Undead, more like. These are my demands, Council. Heed them, or you will all die. Oh, and Guardians, I do look forward to seeing you soon.
Can I try and intimidate her?
What would you like to say to try and intimidate her?
I would say, so when she says, Guardians, I'll see you soon, I will say, you'll find us with 4 pikes, but they will be in hand. We'll be ready for anything you throw at us. And we won't go quietly.
I expected not. Don't expect the mercy that the other priests have shown you. I too will throw at you everything I have. And everything I have been gathering for 900 years. At least one of us is spending that time wisely. Hey, Galahad.
I killed you once. I will do it again.
Actually, I believe your friend killed me. Karakan? If I remember correctly, you died.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I did
So
it with
sad.
a killing blow. Just making that point.
Oh, no. Oh, you didn't kill me.
Bastard.
I knew then, as I do now. Why would I have put myself in such a position? Oh, no, it took another year for you, your friends Karakan, Arcandius, and the others to find and delay my plans. But that's a story you can maybe take it up with them. After all, Karakan has been saying how much he's dying to speak to you. I look forward to seeing you, Guardians. It'll be a night to remember. And immediately the body just retches, like back, like that. The flames snuff out. The body falls. And almost immediately after it falls, all the guards just sort of run at it with their sword, and just start hacking away at the body of Lady Edith. It's quite a gory and gruesome scene. And Councilman was like, enough! What the fuck was that? Any of you lot like to fucking weigh in here, please?
That was Queen Yara. I'm sure you have heard of her from the Chronicles.
Aye.
Well, it seems she is back. She seems to have quite the vengeance. But as long as I draw breath, I will face her. I will be the light in the darkness.
Hold on, so if she's Queen Yara and she not... And you're like the Galahad, right?
Well, who else do you suppose I am?
Councilman Whitash just faints. Well, no, he's dead. Never mind.
He remains stationary on the floor.
Sorry, Councilman Grandwin faints. The councilman of the natural world. He just like faints back in his chair. Brida Duforge is like, seriously, Grandwin, come on. And she just walks up to him and starts tending to him, making sure he's okay. Some of the guards go to Councilman Whitash and he is gone. He is completely dead.
Is there any way to recognise what she cast on him? Or
You can make an Arcana check.
I have a guess, but I don't think Doc would know.
You're not quite familiar. Like, you know, you're a sorcerer and you know some spells, but like whatever the fuck she casts is either not in your repertoire or way too powerful and illegal nowadays for you to do.
Is it something I've seen her use firsthand?
Recognizing what happened, the fact that she just said one word and he immediately died, and the way it was said, so when she said it, there was this extra sort of whisper that flowed through the air. And yeah, you recognize that. There's this sting to that almost makes your entire body shudder. That is maybe what she used on you. And seeing it now firsthand happen to someone else, that's rough. The council stands there silent. The guards begin getting Councilman Whitash's body ready. What are you guys all doing?
I believe it's time secrets were revealed.
My. What secrets?
For some time,
oh, that's beautiful.
the Guardians have stood for something. The Guardians have stood against something. The Guardians of Sturdy is an entity known as Tiamat. It was her dark influence that created this tower that has infected our nation with demons. And it is that dark influence that has placed upon this earth 4 priests sent to bring about her return to his mortal plane. Yara, we believe, is one of those priests. We travelled to the Underdark not too long ago and halted, hopefully permanently, the Drow invasion. Oramis himself dealt the final blow to a being known as Lolth, stemming the tide and weakening the priests that hold on the flow. Other guardians, Daviak is in command, are in the north. What they are up to I cannot tell you, for I do not know. I can only speak to the events I have witnessed firsthand. Galahad comes to us from Palor himself to fight this threat. Griffin, by the grace of Tyr, is amongst us, and I carry Apollo's banner. Yara is the most pressing and most dangerous threat we have seen. This is not a battle that can be fought on a single front. It will be fought all around us.
I do flames and shit.
Sorry, that was very good, JJ. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to.
At this, the council sort of stands silent for a moment. Councilman Ivan wants to speak, but he can't find the words. It's Councilman Ambyr that speaks first and says, "Oh, I mean this. The council have made many enemies. How do you? Maybe there's someone impersonating this. How do you know she really is sending it? Maybe her. The threat of the army might be fake. Are you sure an army is coming?
Oh,
what are the evidence do you have?
We've seen it.
You
Balzanor's
seen
seen it
it
twice. Yeah, it is just endless amounts of undead.
We journeyed to the Shadow Realm, as they called it in my day. We have seen it.
From behind you, you also hear a woman enter. I too have seen it, yes. And as you turn around, you can hear guards clanking, trying to sort of like catch up with a woman who's clearly walking quite fast. My lady, slow down. There's been an incident. No, and you can see Moraine enter the scene.
Who that? I know who that is. Galahad doesn't.
Full
He says
Tall
it's like
woman, dark hair, blue dress.
You'd like her, Galahad. She's a
Nothing-
lady of the class.
Nothing exceptionally fancy, but she holds herself like a woman who, has a little bit of class to her.
Is she 900 years old?
Sadly, no, she is not. And she sort of steps into the scene. I, too, have seen them, Council. And who might you be? My name is Moraine. I was Glyndon Althor's mentor for a time. I am, like him, a wizard of divination. I can see the future. I was the one who informed the Guardians of this threat. I can show you this threat if you would like. All the council the remaining council anyway, look at each other. How have you seen it? Were you with them? No, as I say, I'm a wizard of divination. I see portents, things of the future before they happen. So you've known this for all this time, and you've done nothing. Councilwoman Breda Duforge opens up now, and she says, "Well, actually, I do believe I did receive something about Mr. Althor's attempt to speak to the council on these matters." "Oh, yeah, I think I heard that too. Crap." And Moraine sort of opens her arms, and in the middle of the council chambers, she's like, "I'm just going to do a minor illusion spell. This will just show you what I promise." And she starts creating this sort of like small cloud of fog that sort of like condenses into this perfect ball. And it's like you're looking through a sort of crystal ball in the middle of the room, with this illusion that she's making. And she just shows with major image spell. Silent image spell. She just shows this like 10-second loop of these figures moving through the fields in front of the castle walls. It's from the perspective of someone looking over the castle walls of the capital into the fields, and it's just this mass of bodies. There are zombies and skeletons, but not just of like humanoid people. They're of wolves and bears and horses and lions and manticores and griffins and giants and all sorts of things of the likes you've never seen. You've never seen this sort of horde of evil before, and each one in the horde has their eyes lit with flame, this white flame, much like Lady Neelith's body was. And it's just this 10-second clip of them charging towards the city. And at the very end of the clip, hands, like skeletal hands, sort of emerge over the walls and pull themselves up. And then it sort of goes back and plays again, a bit like a GIF, sort of like playing again and again and again and again.
A GIF of impending doom.
Yeah. She stops. I confess, I saw this meeting in my visions last night. I wanted to come in and intrude at the right moment, but I did not see what happened beforehand. This was maybe some bad timing. Hello, Dokrumir. Nice to see you again. Where's Glyndon? I thought he would be here.
He's handling something in the north with General Dappy.
Midlife crisis, I've heard. I don't want to spread rumours, but...
Oh. Right. Fair enough. I'll have to try and contact him, see if he's okay. He is okay, isn't he?
I mean, all this has taken place in like 5 days, something like that.
Yeah, this has literally been 5 days since you last spoke to them.
Yeah, it's like I saw him less than a week ago. I haven't had any contact with him since then, but knowing Glyndon, he's managed to get himself in trouble. But as he's with him, so he'll look after him.
I was about to say he's not in the safest hands by any means.
Oh, you didn't leave him with a sailor boy, did you?
Sailor boy.
I'd be surprised if he's alive in a week.
Aramis may have many flaws. No, there's nothing else. He just has many flaws.
I feel bad. He was actually rather helpful.
His heart's in the right place. Most of the time. Yes.
He doesn't have a heart anymore, does he? Oh, sorry, it's the soul that he sold to the ship.
That's why it's in the right place.
Yeah, Doc's got it, so he's taking it around to the right place.
It's just in a little jar of dirt with Doc.
Yeah. Oh, on the subject of hearts, we've got 2 vampire hearts we need to look after.
I confess,
I'm
probably the
thinking-
one person who could deal with that is kind of dead now. Right.
I'm thinking
That's top
bag,
secret.
weights, ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you, I mean, I don't feel like there's any. We'll have this discussion later.
Give it Oramis
Yeah,
to end the
so-
season.
So yeah, you guys are in the middle of the council thing. Obviously, you've talked to Moraine's entered and showed the council this. They're all stood in somewhat silence, and they just begin thinking, all right, well, I think it's fairly obvious what we have to do. We need to prepare for war, I guess.
That's not
I'm-
how you spell it. But it's how you.
So
Safwagi.
we're not laughing at Ivan's declaration of war.
Laughing at Luke's spelling of Sahagin.
Safwagi.
Safwagi.
I forgot about that. Safwagi, innit? So yeah, Councilman Ivan like slumps himself down in a chair. The capital will prepare for war. In your vision, it was just the capital. No other places were attacked. Do we think she'll attack anywhere else? How is she getting an army here? I mean,
Her army has been
I confess,
traveling
lads,
through
this is a
shadow
lot
forest.
for one day.
Yes.
We just know a large horde of undead is coming to this city.
Was it Witash that said he was going to bring all the clerics back and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, Ivan, I'm just not any experience in leading at all. Just a small bit of advice. I think if Witash was going to bring all the clerics back and he's dead, maybe appoint someone else in Witash's position and bring all the clerics back.
Our first boss.
If I might make a suggestion, Dokrumir here. He would make a fine member of this council.
You know, I was actually thinking the exact same thing.
He is
He
a
look-
wise man.
He looks at
Holy
you. He looks over at you, Doc, and there is this like solid look for a few moments,
You flatter me. but
and
I'm in no position for leadership.
Greatness is not
think-
taken, it is thrust upon you.
as much as in other circumstances, that would be might be a wise decision. There are elements of Dokrumir that, well, I as a dwarf take problem with, and so Dokrumir, you will sadly not be.
If I might interject, this is the problem with mankind. We cannot put aside our differences in a time of great need.
And
Then
Doc,
we
you
must
can
come
tell.
together.
Doc, you can tell as he's saying this, he's very prominently staring at your scar,
Yeah.
like
no.
very, very obviously staring at your scar.
So you'd let your personal issues come in the way of the defense of an entire nation.
If we appointed this man
It's not
as a
personal,
council member, that would
it's
be
cultural.
it would be an insult to dwarves everywhere.
I respect his
And
position.
seeing as dwarves make up maybe a third of the entire land's population, I don't think we want to offend them. No offense, Dokrumir, you've been
None
a
taken.
mighty help, but
Ivan, you've been more than courteous to me when you need not be.
Oh, it's a dickhead.
I take
That's not in the spell.
duty as a councilman first.
I understand that.
So, it appears then we are getting ready for war. Guardians, what will your next steps be now?
Our first priority might be to recall all the holy people to the capital.
Do not fear on that. I already have a plan. the Archpriest of the Temple of Pelor has proved himself in recent times to be an exceptionally capable person, especially with the downfall of the Temple of Apollo, and how he has taken up those responsibilities of being the healer of the land, of the city. I believe he can take up these responsibilities for now until someone better is maybe found, or until he is officially appointed. We have a lot of council positions to fill. We were 10 a few weeks ago, and now we are, 4 of us?
Griffin Asahi, at your service. Nice to meet you.
We'll see.
I wish Aramis was here, because my man.
You can tell how happy I am that Aramis is not here to convince himself, to persuade himself onto the council. But he does sort of just sort of sit there. But we will find the men, and until that point, we will work this out. There's the masquerade ball night after tomorrow. Tomorrow and the day after will be long days, where I and many of the council members will be planning on siege tactics. First thing tomorrow at first light, and I mean first light, no time after, you are all to report to me in the war room, where I will meet with several of the generals around here, including General Daviak, to discuss plans on what we think we can do about this army. From there, well, whatever you want to do, you can do, but I already know we have had help from Giri Kubo in the training of several of our men, I believe. She will be very helpful. Grandwind comes in at this point and says, yes, I also would like a word sent out to any druids in the area. We need to prepare the land for war. Anything we can do, turning the areas around the capital into difficult terrain and things like that might be good. Would you guardians know anyone who could be helpful for this?
A useful druid?
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't think we do actually. No.
Luke's characters just get shat on.
I mean,
So rude.
yourself, Master Grandwind, would probably know the situation with the druidic folk better than I, or any of us. We have only encountered one druid in our time, a man by the name of Nevada Stone.
Oh yes, yes.
I cannot speak to his capabilities, as I have not spent a lot of time with him. However, Giri may be able to vouch for his credentials. If you,
Is he in the city? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I will look him up
You
and
spent more time with Nevado. Do you know if he's still around?
Yeah, he is around, but he is not in the capital.
He is in the capital.
Is he?
But he's not in the capital.
He's not in the capital. He's about.
He's in his country manor.
He's exploring the surrounding countryside.
Well, I will. I will see if we can get in contact with him then. Excuse me, gentlemen. I think I will be taking my leave for this for this evening. Oh, one thing I thought you might want to know, guardians. I also found a letter to the ex-councilman of finance, signing off on having some of the king's treasury being taken elsewhere to aid something called, and I believe maybe you mentioned this before, the Holy Army of the Black Prophet in their mission of cleansing.
Oh,
I looked in.
That.
That's way.
I'm afraid it's already gone. Hundreds of thousands of gold pieces have already been shipped out. This city is sadly...
Any way to contact these people before they make a delivery? When was this order dispatched?
This order was dispatched last week at some point. We have tried messaging those who were supposedly on the delivery run, but we have sending spells and things like that, but we have had no return. We believe foul play was involved. Those loyal to Lazarus.
Yeah, that's gone, I think.
I have no idea what they might be using that amount of money for, but this could be problematic.
Sorry, so that was to the Black Prophet and his...
It was apparently sent to aid the holy army of the Black Prophet in their mission of cleansing.
Oh, just get Aramis on that. No problems.
Well, he might already be on it. You don't know.
Who knows?
Are you trying to say he's now interested because there's money involved?
I'm just saying, Aramis needs, he's got to climb that social ladder.
He's going to do so. He needs an official residence.
I was thinking of making his official residence the mayor's mansion in the Shattered Coast, maybe?
Do you mean the Admiral's mansion?
I was gonna say,
The Admiral's mansion.
That massive tower that he's still living in because he's still alive.
This is the thing. He may be persuaded to retire
Step
at
down.
some point.
Take a package.
Well, before we knock it on the head for this evening, to remind you, you did have a meeting with Captain Drunigan at midnight this evening. You'd said that.
Oh God! So lots
You
of
can-
Listen,
A lot has happened today.
Oh,
You obviously don't have to go to that if you don't want to,
I think we go
Um,
just to tell him he's not relevant anymore.
or I don't know, you have certain spells. You can maybe message him and say, "Hey, your job's done." Because to be fair, he was trying to find out for you what Lazarus was up to, and now you've killed Lazarus. So,
I mean, yeah, I could.
At least it might be useful against the Black Talons.
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh man.
I mean, it depends how deep we're going into this strategizing for war, because we could be here
I've
for
already
hours.
got a battle plan.
Yeah, it looks like your battle plan is much the same as I have when I first listened to that book, which was try and funnel them against that wall and river.
Yeah.
The only
also,
downside
bear in mind,
is that I think they could appear from anywhere with very little warning, so we don't know on what front we might have to fight.
Would you assume
No,
there could
although-
be an attack from the sea?
I doubt it.
That seems the most safe direction. Given
well,
I think, in my mind, I was thinking with the connection, although we wouldn't know necessarily they could attack from anywhere because the capital's not a very well designed city for defence. Galahad may be a tempting bait for Yara if he were to lead a force, which is why I've put a nice little star there.
well, we can
But
get
we
to
can
plan
go
that.
into that.
Yeah, we
another
can get
time.
into that next session. I'm hoping the next session will be a bit more of a battle plan session. That could be kind of fun. The one thing I will say is that they want you at sunup, which is 6 a.m. If you meet Captain Dronigan at midnight, you won't get full 8 hours of a long rest.
Yeah, I'm not going.
Guys, we need that long rest.
I'll send him a message then, tell him the meeting's cancelled.
Are you using the sending spell?
Yeah, I've got a third level spell slot.
Cool. What are you saying in your sending spell?
Captain, it's been a day. We're meeting... Captain, been a day. Meeting councillors at first light. Need to reschedule the word. Meet us at castle 2 hours after first light. Yeah, something along the line. Like I'm basically going to be like, come to the castle and we'll chat to you then. Because they said we're not telling people that Lazarus is dead yet. So I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, you don't need to bother doing that because Lazarus is dead, because they don't want that secret getting out.
Yeah, of course. Okay, is that 25 letters? Well, 25 words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You know what? It's not quite 25. So I'll just do that. Here's what you get in response. Talon's got me. They have my family. They want to meet you tomorrow, where you first met them. Come alone, or I and Tyrion die.
Ah. Okay.
This is, I mean, an emotional roller coaster.
What's his name again? Dronigan.
Captain Dronigan.
I mean, listen,
And
he's an NPC. We owe nothing to him.
We owe a bit to Tyrion, don't we?
And Tyrion, yes, the priest of Apollo's temple in the capital.
Did you say town tomorrow? Or?
Just said, come tomorrow in the place you first met them.
Oh,
Or him.
Tyrion.
I know, right? The guy was just chilling out, and then suddenly his temple's burned down. He gets hunted by Talons.
I love Ben sympathising with a guy that he's put in danger.
I have not done anything. It was all the Talons.
Okay.
Ben is just amping up drama. Hopefully.
Hokey cokey you.
But yes, so your meeting tonight is officially cancelled, and to speed things along, the council meeting ends. You can all go back. Like, if you guys want a proper tavern to stay at, it will be paid for you. And just a really quick thing, you're all given what's called a sigil of the council. It's a little amber jewel with the symbol of amber on it, which basically means you are friends with the council. Don't fuck with us. Basically,
Nice.
so you can all add sigil of the council onto your, or rather mark of the council, onto your character sheets.
Where we first met. Like, is that where we first met Dronigan, or where we first met the Talons?
Where you first met them.
Where you first met them. Okay, so that'll be the
The
Talons.
church, wasn't it?
That would be the temple.
Temple of Mars.
That you guys, Temple of Mars. Well remembered. Although for Doc, this was only like a couple of months ago. But yes, you can all gain a night's sleep, and it's funny. After everything that's gone on, you all feel like you've experienced quite a lot of things.
Oh.
And you feel like in all this experience, you have leveled up somewhat.
Hey!
Oh.
Hey,
Just these characters, so only Balzanor, Griffin, basically everyone except for the characters that are going to be in the other arc, because these two arcs are happening at the exact same time, so they wouldn't have leveled up. Yes.
As Nevada and Giri have been doing Sweet FA this time, I'm guessing they also...
They too
haven't
level up.
Oh, they do?
They will level up as well.
That's
you might be doing
generous.
sweet FA.
We can discuss what maybe they were up to. Maybe Nevada was just off doing a quick side little mission. Giri has been training up, and we'll get to Giri and Nevado's stuff because that could be kind of fun.
Ben, I'm assuming any hit point reductions from fighting the wraiths come back?
Yes, hit point reductions from fighting wraiths come back, of
Sweet.
course.
We can
And-
discuss it in the week, but when we decide who's getting the armor, shall I I can do. I'll do a. What's that like for the day? I'll do a remove curse on it for someone. Whoever's going to take that. But we can figure all that out during the week.
Yeah, we can figure all that out during the week. So you guys can have a long rest, which I'm sure you're all very excited about because nothing's going to happen to you this evening. You can all go to sleep wherever you guys want. A show of hands: who would go back to the Temple of Pelor and sleep, and who would like to find a tavern to sleep in?
Pelor, I think.
Temple.
So Temple of Pelor, put your hands up.
Might as well all stick together.
Yes.
Fair enough. All of you head back to the Temple of Pelor. Easy enough. You'll head to sleep. Yeah, get your level up, which will become nice. You're all now level 14. For those who are multi-class, just let me know what you're leveling up into: Sorcerer or Paladin or Fighter or whatever. Hope you all enjoyed today's session. Lots of drama, lots of things happening. And
A lot of drama.
yeah, people fucking died.
Good session, Ben. That was gripping.
Oh, that was good.
I'm very, very glad. I've been waiting for this session for a little while for you guys to officially meet Yara, sort of through the body of the absolutely decimated Lady Neelith.
That was,
That was brutal.
but you went into a lot of detail about how fucked up she was.
It's one of those things. I think as a DM, you spend a disconcerting amount of time thinking about, and you end up with it. You end up with it in your head for a long time.
I saw a clip of the most recent season of The Walking Dead, and there's a scene in it where there's just this absolutely fucked up zombie, and I was like, "That's Neelith." Yeah,
That'll do.
I'll do.
Alright.
Oh, have you got Aura of Courage?
At level 10, I'm going to take the 10th level in Paladin, which gets me Aura of Courage.
Yeah, Aura of Courage is, as JJ can attest to, is fucking clutch. You are immune to fear. Anyone within 10 feet of you is immune to fear and any effects of fear.
I hate it.
And yeah, you can't be
It's
frightened.
so annoying.
I'm probably about to hate it. But there we go. Sam, any idea what you're leveling up into?
Oh, definitely Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, do you get higher level spells now, or?
Nah, let me have a look at the Hardcaster table. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one.
If I get 5th level in Fighter, it says extra attack.
No, you don't
That
get.
doesn't stack.
No, that doesn't stack, sadly. So as a
That'd be
5th level
lovely.
fighter,
I
yeah,
have
you wouldn't
8
get any.
attacks because I've stacked on my first level different classes or whatever it is.
Yeah, you would